Good evening, one and all. Can you please confirm? Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Okay. నేనే స్లోగా మాట్లాడుతున్నానండి, వాయిస్ లో కాదు. Very good evening. Very good evening. Okay. So the last class I have given an assignment regarding matrix multiplication and counting the number of digits in a question. Counting the number of digits in a given number. Okay. So that is the question I have given to you. Both the questions. Anyway, in the last class, Bhavani already explained how to perform matrix addition. So today I would like to discuss about the matrix multiplication, and I will move to the today's topics. Okay. 1 minute, guys. Okay. So I'm taking R1. So some students are doing that only R and C only. They are doing like that. But matrix multiplication, apart from addition, you know the rules of the matrix multiplication. We are taking 2 by 2 matrices for M1. If I'm taking, okay, so 2 by 2 row size and column size. And if I'm taking the M2 also 2 by 2, then we will get 2 by 2 result. Okay, but in addition and subtraction, so this will works fine. But whereas in multiplication, you know that if you are having 2 by 3 in matrix 1, in matrix 2, if you are taking the 2 by 3 also, then it won't works. You know already, right? So according to matrix multiplication, the number of columns in matrix 1 must be equal to the number of rows in matrix 2. That means if the matrix having I am giving 2 by 3 and in the second matrix I am giving 3 by 2, which matrix I will get the output as? Can you please tell me in the chat box? This is the matrix 1, this is the matrix 2. What is the resultant matrix? Can you please tell me in the chat box? Yes. Only three persons are answered. What about the remaining? What happened, guys? Well, first, before going to write the program, we have to know about the rules of a programming, right? Yes. So whenever I'm taking like 2 by 3 and 2 by 3, it won't works in matrix multiplication because some students submitted the assignment. They have taken only a number of rows and columns only one time, and it is necessary to check the condition also. Only 10 students responded. Anyway, we are slow dull today. Please respond in the chat box, guys. Are you able to hear me? Please respond in the chat box. So the answer is the resultant matrix should be 2 by 2. The resultant matrix should be 2 by 2 because here 2 by 3 is the first matrix and the 3 by 2 is the second matrix. Okay. So that means the resultant matrix will be 2 by 2. So in the same way, so first that means we have to know the rules of a matrix multiplication because this is we are studying about Python programming, but first we have to know about the rules of mathematics, right? So in matrix multiplication you use it to display like that. So here first of all let me run this program, guys, and I will tell you that. I'm taking I'm taking like enter number of rows 2. Just now I told that columns should be 3. And again matrix 2 rows 2. Enter the number of columns matrix 2 3. No. Ayyo. 3 by 2 I have to give, right? So anyway, I will stop again. I would like to give 2 by 3 and 3 by 2 for second matrix. 1 minute, yes. Console is very slow, I think. What happened to console? Yeah, I will run again. What will happen? Let us see. Wait, boss, wait, please. It is taking so much of time. Anyway, meanwhile, I will open another document. So in the last class, we have discussed about types of functions argument, right? Okay. Wow, still it is console is been connecting to kernel. What happened to my console? Please wait, guys. Please wait. Spider not required internet, right? So what happened? Anyway, first of all, I will save the document. Yes, I 27.py. Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank God. Okay, so let us see the first matrix 2 by 3. And second matrix 3 by 2. Okay, so 2 by 3 means we have to enter 6 elements, right? So I will enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have entered the first matrix elements, right? So now I would like to enter matrix 2 elements. So 2 rows, 3 columns. I'm just giving like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, I'm getting 2 by 2 matrix as a resultant, as you answered already in the chat box, right, guys? So hope you understand the question is. So I'm giving 2 by 3 and 3 by 2. I will get the elements of 2 by 2. So this is the resultant matrix. You can calculate. The result will be 6, 6, 15, 15 only. Okay. So in order to that, I will give you a simple example. Okay, because so we have only limited time, right? So 2 by 2. I'm just taking 2 rows, 2 columns, and I'm taking like 2 rows, 2 columns again. And matrix element should be 1, 2, 3, 4. And the second matrix elements I'm taking like 1, 0, 0, 1. That means you know already the formula in 10th class. A into I equal to I into A equal to what? Any matrix into the identity matrix, you will get what matrix? Please anyone mention the chat box, guys. A into I equal to I into A equal to what? Yes, very good, guys. So that's fine. A. So let me run this. That means 1, 2, 3, 4 I will get, right? So that is the formula actually, So no Monica, that is A only. So let us explain the program. 1 minute, guys. Okay. I will take the drawing tools. First of all, I am taking R1. R1 stands for row 1. So that means here I am giving int because we have to enter integer elements. Input is a function which is used to read the particular input values. Okay. So enter the number of rows in matrix 1. So I would like to give the number of rows as 2. That means now R1 contains 2. That means this is called R1. We should write like this. And enter the number of columns in matrix 1. So I am entering the C1 like this. Okay. So that means whatever you are giving like 2, it will be stored in C1. And R2 equal to enter the number of rows in matrix 2. So this is called R2. That means whatever the value you have given in the runtime, that will be stored in R2. And the last line, C2. Enter the number of columns in matrix 2. This is C2. This is called C2. So now it is okay. So you should tell when I'm taking like 2 by 2 in matrix 1, we would like to take in 2 by 2 in matrix 2. So you know that the resultant matrix should be 2 by 2. Okay. So the resultant matrix should be 2 by 2. So that means here you should check first. If C1 not equal to R2, that means this is the C1, this is the C1, okay, this is R2, okay. If both are not matched, for example, if I'm giving like 2 by 3, 2 by 3, okay, if I'm giving like 2 by 3, 2 by 3, so it won't work, right? So, okay, that's fine, no problem. 2 by 3, for example, if I'm giving 2 by 3, here what I have given like 2 by 2 only, right? So, here I will get 2 by 2 matrix resultant matrix, you know already, right? If C1 not equal to R2, multiplication is not possible. I am giving like this. Okay, you know that rule. That's the reason I told already. So for example, if I am taking like 2 by 3, if I am taking 3 by 2, it will also works. So your result matrix should be 2 by 2 only. Okay. So this is C1. This is R1 C1. Okay. So this is C1. This is R2. Okay. So if it is not matched, multiplication not possible. You will get the message like that. Okay. So else, that means here I am getting whatever the values you are taking, all are 2 only, right? So that means C1 value is, what is the C1 value here? 2. Okay, R2 value is 2. 2 not equal to 2. Condition fails. Condition fails means multiplication is not possible. That message will not be given. That means that will not be executed at all. It will go into the else part. Some students not attend this anyway. That's not a problem at all. But if the students are giving like anyone like that, if I am giving the first matrix like 2 by 2. If the second matrix I am giving like 3 by 3, what will happen? And many of the students not given the difference message. That's the reason I'm asking you guys. Okay. Of course, the program will look like say a very big program, but you should mention all the conditions. Okay. So that's the reason it is giving like that. So now if it is else, that means 2 not equal to 2. The condition is false here. So it will execute the else body. Enter matrix 1 elements. That's the reason I'm getting enter matrix 1 elements here. Okay. Now as earlier. So one of our students explained the concept like how to read elements in the matrix. So this is the single line required. I am giving matrix 1 equal to for I in range of this. This will be work from right to left. So I will tell you guys once again. So for example here I'm just showing all the line. This is called matrix 1 only. This number 9 line should be matrix 1 only. Here for I in range of 2, R1 value is 2. That means I started from 0 and 1. It will iterate 2 times, 0 and 1. But the first time, whenever range of 2 means I value takes like 0 only. Okay. So the first iteration. Then it will enter the inner for loop of J. So C1 value is also 2. That means J value first condition takes like 0 only. Because range J ranges from 2 means J took the iterations up to 0 and 1 only. So that's the reason I'm taking J equal to 0. Okay. Now int of input. That means in the first matrix 1, 0, 0 position. What the value I'm giving? 1 only. I have given 1 only. So that means this should be stored in 0, 0 position of M1. According to this line. After that inner loop will be incremented first. Inner loop is the jth loop. J value 0 will be deleted and J value will be 1 now. Because range of C1 is 2. That means J iterates from 0 and 1 also. So now J value is 1 now, guys. Okay. So now whatever the value I am giving the second portion as I am giving like 2 only. That means here I value is 0, j value is 1. That means next position is 0, 1 guys. Okay. So then again j iterates, but j already reached 0 and 1 because c1 value is 2. That means j iterates only 2 times. Now the condition fails. Whenever the condition fails, I value will be incremented to 1 because earlier it's already completed the iteration of 0. For I also will be range from 2 only. 2 means it will range from 0, 1 only. So 0 iteration completed. This is the last iteration. Then again, whenever you are going to the inner for loop, then j again takes like 0 only. Then j takes only 0 only. Okay. So because it is inner for loop. Okay. So now 1 0. That means whatever the value you are giving like number 3, that will be stored. Okay. 1 minute guys. 1 minute. I'm just dragging here. Okay. Number 3 will be stored in 1 0 position. 1 is the ith element, ith position. 0 is the jth position. And next, so again j will be incremented to 1 guys. J value will be incremented to 1. That means now the next I am giving like 4. That will be in the position of 1 1. Now jth iteration condition failed because j01 iterations completed and I iterations also completed. Enter matrix 2 elements. In the same way, if you are entering like m2, okay, so I am giving like 1 0 0 1. I am giving like 1 0 0 1. You know the positions now. That is this is 0 0, this is 0 1, this is 1 0, this is 1 1. Okay, so this is the same line I have given. Let me remove it guys, 1 minute. Okay, so now I would like to move for the next line. Matrix 3 equal to 0. Why is allocating like 0 means, for example, I in range of 2 means it will allocate the positions of up to all elements like 0 0. M3 of 0 0 will be 0, M3 of 0 1 will be 0, M3 of 1 0 will be 0, M3 of 1 1 is also 0. So this is the line, this is the meaning of this line. Matrix after multiplication is okay. Matrix multiplication is no problem. And for I in range of 1, what is the range of 1? So here I am giving R1. So in matrix addition and multiplication, you require only 2 for loops. Okay. So but here you need 3 for loops. Why? Because here you have to perform like, for example, you know the rules of multiplication. 1 2 3 4 is the first matrix. 1 0 0 1 is the second matrix. Okay. Here the how we can perform the matrix multiplication. First 1 into 1 plus 2 into 0. That means you will get 1. And 1 into 0, next value 1 into 0 plus 2 into 3. That means 1 minute, yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 3 into 0 plus 4 into 1. That means you know already, right? So here we will get 2. And here we will get 3. And you will get 4. This is the resultant matrix. But means here we have to take an extra for loop like k. Here range of R1. That means this is I in range of R1 means it will I iterates to 0 and 1. But it will take by default 0 only first time in first iteration. R1 value is 2 guys. Range of R1 means it iterates 0 and 1 only. For j in range of C2, C2 value is also 2, you know already. So j iterates from 0. Now for k in range of R2, k in range of R2 means now k also iterates from 0. Here I am taking a extra parameter. Okay. So matrix 3 of ij equal to here plus is there. You should understand very carefully. Matrix 3 of ij, this is the only logic guys. M3 of ij plus equal to M1 of ik into M2 of kj. This is the only line. Whenever you are giving addition, M3 of ij equal to M1 of ij plus M2 of ij, that should be fine. But here ik, kj. In C language and Java, whatever it may be, in any Python programming or Java, in any programming language, the formula should be here only. This is the line only. Okay. So let me explain guys how it will work. So now I am taking M3. Okay, matrix 3 is M3. I value is 0 and j value is 0. I value is 0, j value is 0. And M3 of 0 0 plus. That means I have already given like M3 of 0 0 is initially 0. M3 of 0 0 plus. Once again I am telling here plus equal to is there. This means M3 of ij equal to M3 of ij plus. So M3 of ij value is 0. That's the reason I am taking like this. Now M1 of ik. I value is 0, k value is 0. Now we have M1 of 0 0 value here 1. 1 into, here star is there, into, and M2 of kj. K means I am giving the value k value 0, j value 0. M2 of 0 0. M2 of 0 0 value is 1 only. Okay. So here 0 plus 1 into 1 means M3 of 0 0 value is 1. M3 of 0 0 value is 1. but here uh, it won't display directly 1, because here one more condition is there, because for loop iterates to k value as 1, k value as 1. Now k initially 0, it now 1. Again it will execute like m3 of 0 0 equal to m3 of 0 0 plus. Now m3 of 0 0 value is 1. That means you have to perform like 1 plus, okay, m1 of ik. M1 of I means m1 of I is 0, m1 I means 0, and k value is 1 guys, okay. That means m1 of 0 1 value is 2. M1 of 0 1 value is 2. Here I am already written like this, okay, you can understand clearly. 2 into, okay. So next m2 of kj, k value is 1, j value is 0. That means m2 of 1 0. What is the portion of 1 0? 1 0 value is 0 only. That means 1 plus 2 into 0, that is equal to 1 only. That means m3 of resultant matrix should be the final value is 1 only. This is the way you have to perform like this. In usually in mathematics, if you are performing the matrix multiplication, okay, so 1 into 1 plus 2 into 0, you will do like that, right? So here also it is getting like this, 1 into 1 plus 2 into 0. That means everything is fine there. That means the first element will be displayed like this, okay. So you should understand very carefully guys, okay. Next, in the next iteration it will take like, you know already, 1 into 0 plus 2 plus 1 into 0 plus 2 plus 1, 2 into 1, okay. Then it will get 2. How it will get, I will explain that also, then only you can understand easily, okay. So now here kth loop will be 2 iterations are completed, 0 iteration is completed, 1 iteration is completed. Then means it will skip to the for loop, it will execute this line. That means print of m3 of ij, that means m3 of 0 0. M3 of 0 0 will be printed like 1. 1 2 3 4 into 1 0 0 1, you will get the first value as 1 only. So our answer is correct in the first digit, okay. Then it will print, okay. No, it will not print, it will execute and equal to space. That means space will be printed. Again it will execute the jth loop guys. Again it will execute the jth loop. That means j iterates now 1. In the earlier it performs like 0 only. Now I portion is 0, j portion is 1. Whenever it is entering into the new for loop again, now k will be 0 only. This is very important guys. Some students may forget about k value is in earlier 0 1 completed, why it is again sent to 0. Whenever the outer for loop iterates, inner for loop will be started from first onwards again, okay. That's the reason it is getting like this. Now k 0. So here you should understand very carefully, I value is 0, j value 1, and k value 0. So now you should perform the same operations again. Let me remove these lines guys, because there is no space for me. So now you can take like, so m3 of ij, I value is 0, k value is 1. That means I am calculating the m3 of second value, that is 0 1 value. Now it will take like m3 of 0 1 plus. First of all, here I am giving like m3 of 0 1. So no, here j value is 1, right? Okay, fine, no problem. So m3 of 0 1. Here m3 of 0 1 by default it contains 0 only, because according to this line 0 0 and 0 1 1 0 1 1, all portions will be 0 only. 0 plus. Next, m1 of ik, I value is 0, k value is 0. That means m1 of 0 0. What is the value of m1 of 0 0? 1 into m2 of kj. K value is 0, okay. J value is 1. That means m2 of 0 1. M2 of 0 1 value is 0. That means 0 plus 1 into 0, the value is 0 only guys, okay. So here again k loop will be iterated twice. That means k1 0th iteration is completed. Now k will be 1 now. So now m3 of 0 1 equal to, again it will iterate this line, okay. M3 of 0 1 equal to, you should understand very carefully guys, because this is tracing actually, okay. If you trace the program, then only should understand, because when I'm telling this you may get doubt, okay. But after completion of the class, once you allocate the whatever the values I have taken like this, you should do, definitely can understand guys, okay. Because whenever I'm telling this, that means if you may confuse, okay. So next, for example, I'm giving like 0 plus 1 into 0 means the earlier value is 0 only. 0 plus m1 of ik. I value is 0, k value is 1. What is the value of m1 of 0 1? M1 of 0 1 value is 2. Here I am already writing like this, okay. Now it is display like 1 into 0 plus 1 into, okay. Now m2 of kj. K value is 1, j value is 1 minute guys. So j value is 0. That means m2 of 1 0, okay. So 1 minute guys. K value is iterated, right? So k value is 1 minute. M3 of 0 0, M3 of 0 0 already printed. Okay, M3 of 0 1 I am giving next M1 of 0, K value is 1. So M1 of 0 1 value is 2. Okay, so actually I written like 1 only here, right? So it is 2, right? M1 of 1 0, you should understand guys, M1 of IK, I value is 0. Okay, here I have to write 2. So 1 minute guys, I have to remove this. So I'm 1 minute guys. Okay, I will write on the top. Okay, so 0 plus. Now M3 of I is equal to 0, like M3 of 0 plus M1 of IK. I value is 0, K value is 1. M1 of 0 1 value is 2. 2 into, okay, M2 of Kj. That means here K will be M2 of Kj means M2 of K0. That means K value is, what is the K value? 1. Okay, J value is 1. Okay, M2 of 1 1 value is 1. So 0 plus 2 into 1 is 2. So it will print it like this. Okay, so again it will the condition fails guys. So then it will execute this print line. Okay, because K already iterated 2 times now, so that's the reason it will skip this line, and after that 1 space 2 will be printed and it will again into the new line. Then it will iterate whenever it is getting this line, ith loop will be iterated now. In earlier it jth loop will be iterated, now ith loop will be iterated. So it will continue like, then it will print 3 and 4 guys. Okay, you should do, okay, because it's very easy guys. Once you try, definitely. If you have any problem, please let me know. No problem. This is the one question I have given. Anyway, if you would like to note down this program, I will mention in the chat box anyway. Yeah. So I already sent the in your chat box guys. Okay. Next. So I will take like count. So next means we have to count the number of digits in a given integer. So this is the question. You enter any number. So actually I already told you guys, reverse number and Armstrong number program logics will be used in so many ways. Like I already said that. So here the same logic will be applied here also. So I'm giving like 7, 8, 9. So number of digits in the given number are 3. So it is getting very like 3. How I am getting number of digits should be 3. I will explain guys. So I am taking 7, 8, 9, right? So 1 minute, 7, 8, 9. So n equal to 7, 8, 9. I am writing here n equal to 7, 8, 9. Count equal to 0. Initially I am taking count as 0. While n not equal to 0. N not equal to 0 means 789 I am taking like 789 not equal to 0. The condition is true. So it will execute d equal to n modulus 10. I have already told so many times, modulus 10 means it will give the last digit value. 789 modulus 10 is 9. Okay, that means d equal to 9. We have to write like d equal to 9. Count equal to count plus 1. Count plus equal to 1 means count equal to count plus 1. Count initially takes like 0. That means 0 plus 1, it is 1 now. It is 1 now. N equal to n floor division of 10. That means 789 floor division of 10. That means it will get like the value like 78, because 780 tens. Okay, 789 divided by 10, you will get 78. Okay, 78 tens are 780. So you will get 78. Floor division means it won't take like it will raise the truncates. That means fractional parts will be truncated. Okay, so here I am giving like whenever I am giving like n equal to n floor division of 10, I will get only 78. After that again it will go to the while loop. 78 not equal to 0, because n value changed to 78. Now 789 will not be in our memory. 78 not equal to 0. Condition is true guys. Now d equal to n modulus 10. What is the value of n? N value is 78. 78 modulus 10, it will give 8. because the last digit. Whenever you are giving the number modulus 10, it will give the last digit. Count equal to count plus 1. That means count initially 1. Because in the earlier it is taking like 1. 1 plus 1 is 2 now. Now count will be incremented to 2. Then n equal to n floor division of 10. N is 78. 78 floor division of 10. That means n equal to 7 now. Because 7 tens are 7. For example, I'm letting 7 tens are 70. So you will get 7. So again it will go to the loop. 7 not equal to 0. 7 not equal to 0. That is condition true. D equal to 7 modulus 10. What is the value of 7 modulus 10? Please mention in the chat box, guys. What is the value of 7 modulus 10? You have to tell the correct answer, guys. Because I have told so many times. Still some student Pujita is wrong answer. Next. Still, I want the answer from you, all of you guys. What is the value of 7 modulus 10? Yeah, that's fine. Very good. So absolutely fine. Everybody is saying like 7. That is correct answer, guys. 7. Because so whenever numerator is less than the denominator, that result is the numerator only in modulus point of view. So now D equal to 7, guys. Count equal to count plus 1. Count equal to count plus 1 in count here 2 is there. That means 2 plus 1. Now 2 plus 1 is 3, guys. 2 plus 1 is 3, guys. Okay. Then it will execute n equal to n floor division of 10. N equal to 7. 7 floor division of 10, it will give 0. 7 floor division of 10, it will give 0. Okay. That means it will perform like 7 by 10 only. 7 by 10 is 0. Okay. It will 7. I am giving floor division. If I am giving 7 divided by 10, it will give 0 point something. If I am giving 7 floor division of 10, it will obviously give 0 because fractional values will be truncated in floor division. Now n value is 0. Now again it will check while loop 0 not equal to 0, condition fails. The number of digits in the given number are, okay, count is displaying. Count value is 3. So I am taking 789, I am getting 3. That is absolutely correct. My question is, my answer is correct, right? So this is the answer submitted by our third CSC student. Okay. So now I am removing all the drawings, guys. So how they are writing the logic, you have to think in that way. So this is the logic, just writing for example, in reverse number program, you are writing like REV equal to like this here in this line. Instead of that, you have to add only count, because whenever the number modulus 10 is doing like this, until for example here the first two values will be like, for example, if I am giving 789, it will give like 9 modulus 10, right? Okay. So but here whenever you are doing like n equal to n floor division of 10, for example, whatever the number you are taking, it will be 0 up to the number of iterations completed. Okay. So instead of that, you can add the one more line like count equal to count plus 1, and initially count will be taken like 0. Then you will get the correct answer. So this is the logic, guys. 1 minute. Let me copy this. So if any students have any problem, you can go through it. Okay. So I'm already sending in the chat box. Next. So I would like to go for today's topic. In the last class, I have completed. So you can see I already opened here types of arguments, functions in Python. Required arguments are completed. Default arguments are completed. Now I have to complete keyword arguments and variable length arguments. Okay. So I'm telling this topic only for interview point of view purpose, guys. For second CSC students, you should understand what are the various arguments are there, and at least you go through that, and you should write a simple example, guys. Okay. So see keyword arguments and variable length arguments. Now I will tell you what is the basic difference between keyword arguments and variable length arguments. So we have already completed these two topics in the last class. I have given the material also. Okay, two pages, and I have already sent the mail on that day itself. And I will send the mail around, for example, if my class completed around 6:30, I will send the material by 9 PM. Okay, so don't worry, guys. Okay. Next. So variable length arguments versus keyword arguments. These are very important concepts, guys. So listen carefully. You may get confused. That's the reason I'm telling. And C language and Java, we don't have such facility. That's the reason here. In that you can study what are the various types of arguments with respect to return type, with respect to data type in that C language and Java. Usually to specify, there are 4 types of arguments, like function with arguments, function with return type. So you will display like types of functions in that way. But here the arguments concept is completely different, especially in Python. We have a lot of facilities. Okay, so while declaring an argument, usually whenever you're taking like integer, whenever you're taking like any function, okay, so you can use the arguments like in the in brackets you are mentioning the parameters like that. Okay, so anyway, and 1 minute guys, and some one of the diploma student Lakshmi also submitted the assignment. So she done the example, count the number of digits using a function. Okay, so you can do in that way, you can do also in that way. So I think they submitted. I think I did not download it. 1 minute, let me check guys. So downloads documents. Okay, some students use it the functions also. I think document word only. Okay, no problem. I will check in the mail. Yes, Policy Lakshmi. So she submitted the assignment by using function also. She done the program like this. Okay, so def count digit. She using the count digit function, just calling number of digits of percentage count digit of one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. She is giving like this 5. So whenever I am giving assignments, they so now you are coming into the loop instead of loops. She is writing using function. She is also using the loop, but she is calling that function like def count digit of m. I'm very happy about this because I'm telling about the functions concepts. Okay, if you are doing in this way, it's very good guys. Okay, so that's the reason I would like to tell you guys. Okay, anyway, let me move variable length arguments versus keyword arguments. Okay, so many students have confusion about this, so I will give you a clear cut clarity today. So how we can use in programming, we define two function to make a reusable code that performs similar operation. Okay, for example, here I have given an example guys. So it is used to perform addition of two numbers. I think hope everybody knows this. Okay, so let me just, I will move this place. Okay, so this is the point I am giving. You know that once again I am repeating. So you know what are the various types of arguments. So these are nothing but arguments. These are called as formal arguments. These are called as actual arguments. Okay, this is the function name I am giving. This is user defined function name. I am creating like adder. Okay, adder is a user defined function. You can give any name. You can give add. You can give sum. You can give your name. That's not an issue at all. While I am giving 10, 12, 13, these are the arguments. 10, 12, 13. These are passed to the first parameter to x. That means 12 will be to the y. In C and Java also it will be done like this only, z. So then it will perform sum. I am printing x plus y plus z. Then 10 plus 12 plus 13 will be printed. Then you will get like total value. Okay. So let me run this program guys. I am getting 35. Okay. So you can add 22 plus 13, 35. Okay. So here I am giving x, y, z only. I am giving 10, 12, 13, comma. If I would like to give 15, if I would like to give 20, what will happen guys? Please tell me in the chat box guys. What will happen? While answering any question, you should use chat box. Don't use question and answers. Okay. Yes. No. It will not 35. How it will 35? I'm passing 5 arguments now. What will happen, guys? I'm asking question, right? Error. Okay, fine. Okay, so let me run this, guys. So I'm getting adder takes 3 positional arguments, but 5 were given. So, excellent. The error is very clear, guys. Okay. In C language, we will get any wrong declaration syntax error. But here, that means it is taking adder takes 3 positional arguments. That means adder takes 3 positional arguments. But arguments with 5 were given. That means you are giving 5 were given. So that's the reason it is getting error. This is called type error, guys. Okay. So now I will come into the point. Variable length. Variable means it's a changing. Variable length means it's a changing. Okay. It's not a B, C like that. Okay. Variable length means the length will be variable. The length is not constant. That's the reason like a variable length. Okay. So that should be defined like star args. Star args. In C language and Java, we have the functions like argc and argv. Argc for argument counter and argv for argument vector. But these are different. Okay, these are different. Let me explain. When we run the program, the output will be sum equal to 35. I already written in the notes. Next. Now I am telling that let us see what will happen. I'm passing 5 arguments now. Okay, I'm passing 5 arguments now. It will take like error, like the 3 positional arguments were 5, but 5 were given. It will give the output like this. Okay, I have already everything I mentioned in the notes. Don't worry, guys. Now, in the above program, we passed 5 arguments to the adder function instead of 3 arguments, due to which we got type error. Now coming to the point of introduction to args and KW args. Args are nothing but default arguments, and KW args are nothing but keyword arguments. But first of all, you should understand variable length arguments, not default arguments, variable length arguments. So now should understand this. Here, whenever you are passing the arguments, the number of arguments you are passing to your function using special symbols. These are 2 special symbols. One is star args, another one is double star KW args. Okay. So I will tell you the difference. Here, non-keyword arguments, these are keyword arguments. Okay. So keyword arguments are also called as named arguments also. Okay. So keyword arguments are also called as named arguments. What is the difference? I will tell you guys. Don't worry. Okay. And we use star args and KW args as an argument when we use unsure about the number of arguments to pass in the function. We don't know how many arguments you want to pass. But if you want to pass n number of arguments, you can pass in this way. Okay. So let me explain with an example, guys. First, I will take an example here. So I am taking sum of the given elements program. I am taking sum of the given elements program. So you should forget this, guys. You should forget this line first, because the program will execute it from 40th line onwards. You know already, because it is a function, guys. Okay. It is a function. So this is a calling function. Whenever a calling function execution starts in this place, then it will go to the called function. That means this line. So usually, if you are taking 3 arguments, then those arguments will be placed to x, y, and z. You know that already. But here, you no need to specify the number of arguments here. You can just give a star. You can give any variable. Num is not required here. You can give any variable. Star args means this is not predefined. Args is a just for arguments purpose. It is telling that star args. You can give star a also. I am giving star num. So if I am passing adder 3, 5, now the first time these 3, 5 will be elements will be go into the adder function. So now sum equal to 0. Sum initially I am taking like 0 only. Okay. So for n in num, here I am taking like whatever n means. Whenever here it is a n in num means now I am taking num values at 3, 5. So num means I am taking like 3, 5. That means the first value will be stored in n. That means the first value is 3. The first value is 3. Now it will perform sum equal to sum plus n. Sum equal to 0, n value is 3. 0 plus 3. So 0 plus 3, it will give sum value as 3 only. 0 plus 3 is 3. Now again it will go into the for loop. And now 3 will be removed from the memory. It will execute the 5 because number will be 5 now. Now it will be stored in n. It will be stored in n. That means n equal to 5 now. Now sum equal to sum plus n. Sum plus n is nothing but sum equal to 3. 3 plus 5. So 3 plus 5 is nothing but 8. 3 plus 5 is nothing but 8. So here sum equal to 8. After that n will not be iterated. For loop will not be executed because the n loop, that means whatever the values you are taking 3, 5, the both tasks are completed. Now it will go into the print of sum. That means n value, sum value I am printing. Sum value is 8. So you will get the sum like this. So I am removing the drawings. Now let me execute these 3 lines first. Okay. So I am giving up to 40th line. Now I am running sum is 8. Okay. Hope you understand, guys. But now I am passing 4 arguments here. But I am not changing any function body with respect to the arguments. Because whenever I am giving star parameter, it will take the number of arguments whatever you want. That means you can take any number of arguments. Okay. But in C language and Java, if you specify 2 arguments, you should specify the 2 arguments as a formal parameters. That must be required. If you are giving only one parameter, it seems it will not be executed. But Python always gives the flexibility to the programmer. In the same way here, if you pass 5 arguments also, you will get the same output with respect to the number of arguments. This is called variable length of arguments. Hope you understand, guys. Is it clear? So 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7, it is getting 22. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Please respond in the chat box. Is it clear, guys? I'm getting the answer from Kanna only. So K Reshma. Okay, thank you. Yes, clear. Fine. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So now hope you understand what is a variable length argument. So this is called variable arguments. Variable length means so you can take any length. But here these are nothing but non-keyword arguments. Why it is called as a non-keyword arguments? I will tell you the keyword argument, then you will know. Okay. So once again I am telling star is mandatory here. Okay. Star is mandatory here. If I am removing star here, okay. So let me run this program, guys. Okay. I am getting adder takes one positional argument, but two are given. Here that means it should be acts like a one parameter. If you pass only one parameter, then it will execute. That means in the earlier case we use it to tell like if I am giving like one, okay, it will execute this line only. That means those line will be executed, okay. But in anyway it is also not executed. Int object is not iterable. Okay. I will tell you why it is iterable. I will tell you. Don't worry, because it should be acts like a tuple. I want to tell one more thing. One more point. 1 minute, guys. Here I will tell you one more point. Print type of num. Okay, so you know, whenever you're taking arguments here, it should be star only, guys. That's the reason it is getting like that error. Okay, if I'm giving star means it will take the given list into tuple elements. So let me run this program again. I'm getting class tuple, class tuple, class tuple like this because so star num acts like a tuple. That's the reason it is taking the arguments like this. Okay, that means if you're not taking this example, I already 1 minute, guys. I already practiced some examples before. I would like to present you. I always use to prepare the class. 1 minute, guys. Okay, so this is the one of the program, guys. This is the one of the program. But anyway, I will explain that concept. First, I will explain the keyword arguments. Then I will explain this concept. So anyway, I will tell this example before I would like to complete the star arguments I have completed just now. So this is called variable length of arguments. You can give any length, variable length arguments. Okay. So is it clear, guys? So next Python arguments, that is called KWARGS. So now it is called, so Python passes variable length non-keyword argument to a function using star args, but we cannot use this function to pass keyword arguments. What is meant by keyword means, so we are having 35 keywords. No, don't think in that way. Don't think in that way. These are not the keyword arguments, means those are not the keywords for this year. Here keyword is nothing but the values of the particular variable. That's the reason I have given clearly here. Anyway, I will explain the program. We will know them. In the last class I have given name equal to John, age equal to like that. Okay. So name equal to, whenever you are having a parameter like name equal to like this. So these are nothing but a keyword arguments. So keyword arguments means you will get a value particular variable you have given like that. So that is nothing but a keyword argument. Why it is called as a non-keyword arguments in adder 3,5? Here I did not mention any key value like pairs. Okay, I am giving like a equal to 4. I am not giving like a equal to 5. I am not giving like that. Okay, so here only one value is there, key 3,5. That's why those are called as non-keyword arguments. These are called as the keyword arguments. Okay, let me explain this program, guys. You will understand them. So just now I told, so by default the parameter it will takes like the type of num. Whenever I am giving like star means this is a argument, but this number will be acts like a tuple in our data type. But here dictionaries will takes place. Dictionary. Okay, whenever you are using a keyword arguments, if I am giving like star KWRGS, okay, these 4 lines will not be executed first. It will start from my fun first equal to Adabala. For example, I am taking like my first name is Adabala and mid equal to Lakshmana and last equal to Kumar. That means middle name is Lakshmana and I am giving like last name equal to Kumar. And I am calling the function with 3 parameters. But I am calling the same function with 2 parameters, Adabala, Kumar only. Okay, I am removing the mid line. So that means here I am giving the n number of arguments 3. Here I am giving the n number of arguments 2. These are also variable in length. But here you should understand the concept keyword, because I am giving like key values, like for example, this is a key, this is a value pair. That's the reason I'm taking like first name equal to like this. Okay, you can also that means these are not only works upon strings. You can also like a equal to 10, b equal to 20. That is also fine, guys. Okay, now so while I'm taking my fun, so my fun is my function. It's a user defined function. So first equal to Adabala, mid equal to Lakshmana. These values will be stored in keyword arguments. But here you need to give double star. You need to give double star instead of single star. Okay, so that means whenever you are giving a one argument with star, that is like a variable length arguments. and in Python. And if you're giving a double star, this is called as a keyword arguments. Okay. Earlier it was non-keyword arguments. These are the keyword arguments. Let me explain what is the difference between keyword arguments and non-keyword arguments. Let me take an trying tools. Data type of the argument should be type of KW argument. KW argument is a variable name. Here you can take any variable name, not KW argument. For your understanding purpose, I am telling this variable like KW or ARGS. You can take A, double star A. That is also fine. You can execute, guys. Okay. So for key comma value in KW_item. That means items is a predefined method which will call the values of the particular item. For example, first equal to Adabala. That means here first equal to Adabala will be printed like this, because I am giving key comma value in pair. Key will be stored like first, value will be stored like Adabala. Okay. So now percentage s equal to percentage of key comma value. You know that percentage s is a string format specifier. If you giving the percentage of key comma, here you no need to give comma, because I'm not giving, if I'm giving comma it will give error. You can also print using dot format method. You can also using directly like a key comma value. You can give print key value. You can also give like that also. Okay. Don't use like format also. Okay. Just giving an example I'm telling. Okay. So this is also, you can print it directly like print key comma value. It is also will be printed like that. Okay. So I'm giving like percentage equal to percentage means first equal to Adabala will be printed like this. Okay. Then after that it will check if any number of arguments are there. Yes, it will check the arguments. That means in the first function we have the remaining like mid equal to Lakshmana. So now the second argument will be taken like mid is a key and value is a Lakshmana. Okay. Then those items also will be displayed mid equal to Lakshmana like that. Okay. So that means print statement will be executed 3 times, because I am passing the values. I am passing the 3 arguments here, last equal to Kumar. So after that it will be skipped. Okay. After that, whenever these key value will be completed, it will execute this line. Then it will execute this line again. Key value means first equal to Adabala will be printed, last equal to Kumar will be printed. But here I am taking only 2 arguments. That means n number of arguments. You can take n number of, you can pass 1 argument, 2 argument, 3 argument. You no need to specify here how many number of arguments are declaring like this. Okay. But in earlier class you are telling like it's just like a values only. But here I click key value pairs. So this is the difference. That's why the by default this parameter acts like a dictionary. In earlier example it acts like a tuple. So that is the basic difference. So that means these are the very important topics in interview point of view, especially. That's why I'm telling guys. So I'm taking one more example with respect to, instead of, you know that this example is very clear to all of you guys. So with respect to this example, I am telling argv. Argv is not a predefined. You can take any variable name. Here I am taking hello comma Kumar. That means here 4 comma 3 comma 5 is a variable, next values. But I am taking hello comma Kumar. These are strings only, because tuple allows values, strings, not any data type. That means tuple is a collection of elements of different data types. So it allows all the values. But in this example, you will have a keyword, like keyword means this is the key value pair like this. Okay. So keyword arguments are nothing but you want to assign the value to some particular variable. If you are declaring a equal to 10 in this, that is nothing but a keyword arguments. Okay. So you have to understand very carefully. If I am giving 3 comma 5 hello comma Kumar, so these are nothing but only arguments. These are the keyword arguments. You should understand basic difference, because whenever they will ask the interviews like that, so what is the difference between variable arguments and variable length arguments and keyword arguments? So keyword arguments should be enclosed in double star. Here only required 1 star. Okay. So you should understand carefully, guys. So this is the example. I have already explained some important points also in these notes. Okay. So once again I'm telling these 2 are used to variable length only, but depends upon the situation we want to use. For example, in non-keyworded arguments you have to use args. For keyword arguments you have to use KW arguments. Both functions are flexible for taking the arguments list. So I already told this. And in the last class Vishnu asked some doubt regarding main function. That's the reason I have given these notes. Okay, giving this note in the notes. So his main function is there in Python. He asked the question like that. So I would like to mention the question like, we have already learned that function is a piece of code when to write and to perform a specific task. In most programming languages, there is a special function which is executed automatically every time the program is run. This is nothing but the main function. Main, as usually denoted, it's essentially serves as a starting point for the execution of the program. In C language and Java, you are used to specify like a main function. In Python, it is not necessary to define the main function every time you write a program. This is because the Python interpreter executes from top of the file unless a specific function is defined. That means, for example, if I am defining a function like myfun, it will execute like that. I don't need to declare any function, because I'm not calling the myfun function from main. That means you no need to define anything here. For example, let us see an example. If you understand clear, then you will definitely understand why we need not require main function. I am just creating a simple example, guys. So for your understanding purpose, I am taking a simple example. I am taking def main. Print hello I am main. So in usually, whenever the C language editor you are having, if you declare two main functions in a program, the program will work or not? Please let me know. Please tell me, guys. So I want the answer from you. Okay, anyway, no problem, Durga. Yes, very good. Is my question clear? Once again, I am telling, guys. If I declare a single program with two main functions with the body, okay, it will work or not? Venkatra, how it will work? No. Many students are saying that no is the answer, right? Whatever you are telling that the answer is exactly correct, guys. Because in C language and Java, okay, in C language and Java, whatever it may be, a program can have only one main function, guys. Okay, so here there is no main in Python. That's the reason I am creating a main as a user defined function, and I am calling the main function here. But here the program works absolutely fine because there is no main in a Python. Okay, so main here it's like just like a normal function. Okay, I'm running this program, I'm printing like hello I am main. It will get like this. Okay, so you can give main one also, you can give main one. So whenever I'm giving like main one, so now I'm executing this program, I am main one. That means there is no difference. That means this is just like a user defined function. That means here main is not a predefined, and main is not defined in the even in the library also. Okay, so by default the Python always gives the flexibility to the user, guys. Okay, you should understand very carefully. Okay, so actually I thought to complete the today's concept recursive functions also I would like to complete, guys, but many students are having a lot of problems with respect to internet because you may not get sufficient internet plans because from morning to evening you have a lot of works, right? So I think I know that's the reason I would like to complete this recursion concept tomorrow, because whenever I'm having concept I would like to almost 10 to 15 minutes I always extend the classes. Okay, so actually I thought that I would like to complete 8 pages today, but I completed only 5 pages till now. So yeah, so what should I do, guys? Can I tell the recursive function now, or shall we connect tomorrow? So it's your wish, guys, because more than 220 students are there here. I would like to know from you. Yeah, so yeah, many students are telling continue. So no problem, sir. No problem. I'm just like a friendly one. Okay, you just tell me, no problem. If you want to continue tomorrow, I will continue tomorrow. So, but many students are telling telling no, you should tell. So okay, fine. I will give you an introduction. Many students are giving, please continue, sir. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Okay, no problem. I will give only 5 minutes time. Okay, no problem. Within 5 minutes, I will complete whatever I'm going to talk. So because this is a very easy and important concept, guys. What is recursion? The very important, guys. You should, if you have the notes, you should write the definition. The function calls by itself is called recursive function. Okay, you should write like this line. The function call by itself is called recursion. Okay, this is very important definition, guys. So the function calls by itself is called recursive function. Okay, so hope you understand, guys. So that means, for example, what is meant by recursion? You should understand a very basic example. I'm running this. Recursion is the process of defining something in terms of itself. That means whenever you are taking, like, for example, a physical world example, like place two parallel mirrors facing each other. Any object in between them would be reflected recursively. That is called nothing but recursion. That means, for example, you just take two mirrors in your hand, and you can put any object, like any object, not whether your mobile phone or anything. That means it will be reflected in both the mirrors. This is called a recursion. That means, for example, the function calls by itself is nothing but a recursion. Why it is telling like that? For example, I will open this diagram. Recursive function. For example, you are calling one function def recurse. Okay, that means here it is a recurse function. Whenever this function is calling, if this function is calling, guys, then in that body again you are calling recurse. That means again it is going back to this function. Okay, that means this is called recursion. For example, okay, for example, I think this diagram is very clear, guys. I am giving, this is the function. This function name should be called again in function body. That is called, that means it will be iterated so many times. It will be iterated so many times. Okay, so let me explain, guys. Just now I told that hello, I am just giving main one. Instead of body, if I am giving again main one here, okay, again I am giving like main one here. This is called recursion. That's all. It's very easy, guys. It's very easy exam. In interviews, this question is must and should, guys. Very, very important question, guys. Okay. So in the last class, I almost I had like Saturday, I think Saturday or Friday. Okay, Friday. I think I told you guys the interview questions which are asked in TCS Code Beta. So I already forwarded to you. Okay. So in that you can read the questions. You can have very easy questions like slicing and all. And he answered very well actually. Okay. So those are the very easy topic actually. And one more program he asked the printing the tables from 7 to 10 I think so, and that up to 15 rows. Yeah, only 2 students sent that answer actually when you see that question. Because I think you see that question in your WhatsApp, right? So anyone tried, guys? Anyone tried? So how they are asking? That means whenever you are telling a for loop, I am telling that how to print a multiplication table using for loop. I already told in the last class, right? But in interviews they are asking like, so print up to 15 rows, and they are asking up to 7 to 10 multiplication tables. Anyone done that example? I got only 2 answers from your students, our students, right? Have you seen those questions? No, nobody's not responding in the chat box. What happened, guys? You should try, guys, please. Okay. Whenever I'm sending those questions, because one question is also there, bulb question. Okay. Even second year CSC Vishnu also send the answer for that question. Okay. So those are very easy. In interviews, how they will ask you, you have to think like that. That's the reason only I forwarded. Okay. Because I always used to tell the examples with respect to student point of view. That's the reason I'm telling. Okay. So here, what is the output? Tell me, guys. What is the output here? If I'm giving main one, again it will execute main one. Then what is the output, guys? Yes, Dilip, absolutely. So dull. So many students are so dull. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, you too have rest, right? Because you have to take rest. So infinite times will be printed. Yes. So very good, guys. Only 5 or 6 students are responding. I think you are very dull today due to class works. Anyway, I will continue tomorrow after completion of this concept. Okay. So I'm getting like I am main. It will recursion back the recursion depth exceeded. So it is exceeded actually already. Okay. We will execute like main one. It will be printed like this infinite times. Okay. So recursion is nothing but it will execute infinite times. It will execute like that. Okay. So anyway, recursion error also it is getting recursion error also showing. That means based on internal memory it is displaying. Anyway, I will run the program again. Okay, it is only infinite time. That's not a problem at all because you can see the output. You can see the output. Okay, even I'm not showing you some lines also. It is not showing even. Okay, it is displaying all the time. So because here whenever you are giving recursive function means main one. This will be meaning but main one will be executed. Hello I am main, after that it will be executing. It will be executing means again main one. That means hello I am main will be printed again. Then hello main, after hello I am main it will be executed. Again main one. That means again it will be executed. That means this is called by itself. The function calls by itself is called as a recursion. This is the very easy definition. Anyway, we will continue tomorrow with the factorial example of the function. Okay. No, not 2 times. It will infinite times. Infinite times, Devi. So I think your internet problem, right? So it will execute infinite times. Okay, because it will infinite because hello main because main is calling recursively. There is no stopping, right? Because here it is calling, but again it is calling in the recursive body. That's the reason. Okay. Anyway, we will look into the factorial example by tomorrow sharp 5:30. Okay, we will continue every day 5:30. My works are already completed. All the MCET Examinations also completed. No problem, guys. So I will come. I will take the class from 5:30 to 6:30. Take care, all of you. I will send the material to your mail IDs. So you don't need to click on feedback links. Everything. No feedback link. Okay. I will have your mail IDs within 2 hours. So after 2 hours, I will send you the notes. Okay. So bye bye. Stay home. Stay safe. Take care, guys. So nobody is asking any doubts. So if you have any doubts, I will wait for a few minutes. If you don't have any doubts, you can leave. Yeah, tell me question. So 1 minute, some student is asking questions, sir. For matrix input in J for loop, we have to take range of C2 writes. Okay, okay. So I think I copied from one of the student. So 1 minute, guys. So if there is any mistake, I will change. No problem. Yeah, it is saying like R1 C2, C2 R1. So 1 minute, I will tell you R1 C1 R2 C2. For in range of no, whatever the question you are asking, she done exactly. I think the finalist student is asking Monica. Your whatever you are asking the question, that is wrong answer, because this program is 100% correct. Because whenever I told you that, for example, if I am giving like 2 rows 3 columns, 3 rows 2 columns, okay, in second matrix we will get 2 by 2 matrix, right? How you are getting 2 by 2 matrix? That means this is R1, this is C2. You know that, right? Okay. That's why in third matrix you have to take R1 in brackets, C2 in this. Okay. That's absolutely fine. It is correct only. Next, any more questions? If you're taking C2, R1 in ith iteration and C2 in different iteration also, it will work, sir. No problem. Okay. So please check the notes I will send. So nobody is asking doubts. Thank you, guys, all of you. Take care. Stay home, stay safe.